Good afternoon and happy Halloween, Cross Timbers. Today is Wednesday, October 31st, 2012. This is Texan TV News from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Kelly Wolf. In today's headlines, a Moscow rally urges the release of opposition activists, Octomom checks into rehab, a suspect is arrested in a forgery investigation in Houston, the Granberry Theater Company puts on a play, the University Resume Clinic will be on Thursday, and the Texas Rangers ballpark gets an upgrade. And now, today's international, national, and Texas news from the Associated Press. Several hundred demonstrators rallied in Moscow on Tuesday to press for the release of opposition activists. Protesters demanded that authorities free more than a dozen people who are in jail facing accusations over their role in a May protest that turned violent, among other charges. President Vladimir Putin has launched a multi-pronged crackdown on dissent since being inaugurated for a third term in May. He has signed off on several repressive laws and allowed numerous arrests and searches of opposition activists. One of the jailed activists said he had been abducted from the Ukraine while seeking political asylum and was smuggled back into Russia, where he was tortured into confessing. Participants in the rally, which ended peacefully, demanded punishment for those involved in the abduction and torture of the jailed activist. A leftist leader who is facing charges for plotting riots, which he had rejected as politically motivated, called on opposition supporters to keep pressing for the jailed activists released or face a long totalitarian winter. The rally was on the day when Russia paid tribute to the victims of Soviet-era repression. Mourners attended a church service Tuesday at the former firing range at Moscow's district of Butovo. The Octomom Nadya Suleman checked herself into a rehabilitation center for anxiety, exhaustion, and stress. A statement from Suleman's spokeswoman Gina Rodriguez on Tuesday says the mother of 14 had been taking medication under a doctor's care to deal with her problems. However, Suleman felt she needed a treatment program to assist with her recovery. Suleman will be in treatment for at least 28 days. In the meantime, 3 nannies and 2 of Suleman's friends will care for her octuplets, who will be 4 years old in January, and her 6 older children. Suleman garnered international attention when she had octuplets in 2009. Houston police arrested a man who was a suspect in a forgery investigation in the cities of Early and Brownwood. The suspect was apprehended with $8,000 that were forged and cashed past. Daryl Keith Hunter of Houston was arrested Monday, Early Police Chief David Mercer told the Associated Press. Mercer identified a suspect as Mario Cervantes. Cervantes is still at large. 2 of the forged checks were passed at a bank in Early, and one other check was passed at a business in Brownwood. Early and Brownwood officers worked together, comparing video and handwriting on the checks, which later identified the 2 suspects. Complaints were filed with District Attorney Michael Murray's office. Warrants were later obtained for both of the suspects. In regional news from the Granberry Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Granberry Theater Company will put on the musical I Do, I Do. The 2-character show is about the trials and tribulations of life together in marriage. I Do starts with the couple, Michael and Agnes, on their wedding day. Throughout the show, the audience will get glimpses into the couple's life, from being newlyweds to having children to a midlife crisis. Michael reveals to Agnes that he has been having an affair, and although Agnes becomes upset at his infidelity, she ends up forgiving him, and they reconcile the relationship. This musical will premiere on November 1st at the Granberry Live Theater in the historic Granberry Square at 7:30 p.m. The Saturday matinee will start at 3 p.m. Tickets will cost $20 for adults, $17 for senior students, and $15 for children. In campus news, Career Services will have a resume clinic on Thursday from 4 to 6 in the Tarleton Student Center Room 218. Texan TV News staffer Katie Gibbs recently interviewed Christina Phillips for information about the resume clinic.
I'm here with Katrina Phillips, and I'm going to be asking her a few questions about the resume clinic that will be on Thursday. So, hi Katrina.
Hi.
What is the resume clinic?
Okay, well the whole point of the resume clinic is that, throughout the semester we allow students to come in and make resume appointments or drop off their resume or email their resume, but we noticed that we were having a hard time fitting everybody into appointments, and so we know a lot of people are required to cover class, or they just need a convenient time where they don't have to actually set up an appointment. So the whole point of a resume clinic is we set aside 2 hours where people can just come and go. It's on a first come, first served basis, and students can come, have their resume looked over, have it critiqued, and get a better idea of what they need to do to improve their resume or how they can tailor it for a particular job.
What if they don't have a resume? Do you help set one up for them?
Well, if a student comes without a resume, what we'll do is give them resources to start a resume and to get a rough draft started and kind of walk them through and give them an idea of what they need. Then generally we'll schedule a follow-up appointment or encourage them to come back and set up an appointment so that we can follow it up with them and see the progress they've made and help them fine-tune that.
Okay, so you said a lot of people come to the resume clinic?
Yeah, we generally have really good turnouts. Again, it kind of just depends on everything else going on campus, but we try to set them strategically so it's right around the time that a lot of students have due dates. So we try to make it convenient for students because a lot of students get extra credit for coming to class or they're required to. And we also know it's that time of year when students are thinking about applying for internships for the spring or for jobs or whatever the case is, and so we try to make it a convenient time for everybody.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And now for sports. The Associated Press reports that Texas Rangers are making changes to the Rangers ballpark for the third off-season in a row. This off-season, they will be adding an additional row of seats behind home plate and increasing the size of the dugouts. Team officials announced that the $12 million project on Tuesday. Along with extra seats and larger dugouts, there will be extensive renovations to the private club concessions area behind home plate. Demolition work began last week, and the project is still scheduled to be completed before the 2013 home opener on April 15th against the Los Angeles Angels. Today's forecast is sunny with a high near 79, with a west wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming north in the afternoon. Today's broadcast was produced by Paul Falgren, Sam Norman, and Katie Gibbs. You can follow us on ustream.tv/user/Texan News Service. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan of Texan TV News on Facebook. I'm Kelly Wolf. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Have a happy Halloween, Cross Timbers.